Everyone says that motivation is the key to success. Then, when that motivation fades, they say discipline is the answer. And to some extent, this is true. But after spending the last few years trying to improve my physique, I've realized neither motivation nor discipline are what works. The thing that actually changed my life was progress. Not huge progress. Not overnight transformations, just small improvements, repeated consistently over time. Here's why motivation fails. Motivation feels great. You see a self-improvement video. You see a transformation. You hear a motivational speech. Suddenly, you think you will wake up at 5 a.m., eat perfectly, train harder than ever, and become a completely different person. For a few days it works. Then reality hits. You get tired. You get busy. You lose the excitement. And before long, you're right back to where you started. Because motivation is emotional. And emotions don't last. If your success depends on feeling motivated, you're going to struggle whenever motivation disappears. And eventually, it always does. Now, discipline is definitely more reliable than motivation. But discipline has a problem too. Most people think discipline means forcing yourself to suffer forever, waking up when you don't want to, working out when you don't want to, eating foods you don't want to eat. And while discipline matters, that's an exhausting way to live. If every workout feels like a battle, if every meal feels like punishment, if every day feels like you're dragging yourself forward, eventually you're going to burn out. The real secret is progress. When you lose your first 5 pounds, when your bench goes up for the first time, when your clothes start fitting differently, when someone notices you've changed, you want to keep going because progress creates momentum. The more progress you see, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. I think this is where most people get stuck. They try to change everything overnight. They go from eating whatever they want to following the perfect diet. They go from never exercising to training 6 days a week. They go from spending hours scrolling on their phone to trying to become the most productive person alive. And eventually, they quit. Not because they're lazy, because they tried to do too much at once. Progress doesn't require a complete life overhaul. Sometimes progress is surprisingly small. Instead of grabbing ice cream every night, grab a yogurt. Instead of drinking soda, drink water. Instead of doom scrolling for another hour, go on a 10-minute walk. Instead of trying to be perfect, just try to be slightly better than yesterday. None of those choices seem life-changing. People are obsessed with dramatic change, when they should be obsessed with small wins. Here is why consistency wins. The goal isn't to have one perfect week. The goal is to have 50 decent weeks. Most people think success comes from intensity, but success usually comes from repetition. One workout won't change your body. One good meal won't change your health. One productive day won't change your life. But hundreds of them will. People think consistency means never missing a day. It doesn't. Consistency means coming back. Miss one workout? Come back tomorrow. Eat a bad meal? Make the next one better. Skip a walk? Go on one later. Progress isn't built by being perfect. It's built by refusing to quit. That's why I believe in something stupidly simple. The PAC method. Progress and consistency. Not motivation, not perfection. Not extreme routines. Not trying to become a completely different person overnight. Just getting a little bit better and showing up again tomorrow. Because that's what actually works. So let's wrap this up. If you're waiting to feel motivated, you'll probably be waiting forever. If you're relying on discipline alone, eventually you'll get tired. But if you focus on progress, consistency becomes easier. And consistency is what changes your life. One step at a time. And that's the PAC method.